Thanks, Noble. So I just wanted to argue with your man, right? In terms of his views, like in his lived experience, in his lived life, where are these views coming from? Are you married? What is your lived experience? I'm just more trying to understand where you are coming from and why you believe what you believe.
Ma'am, this live isn't about me. This live is about Noble and what he wanted to speak on. If I wanted to get interrogated, I would have my own live, and then you could come in there and ask me a question. I'm here to just to give my point of view on things. If you want me any type of elaborations or anything like that, I do have a Cash App. You can Cash App there, and then we can have a conversation. I need to be paid for my time when it comes to diving into my life, so that's kind of how I move. But like I said, I'm here to support my brother, and that's about.
Okay, so to clarify, at this time, just so I understand exactly what you're saying, for me, it wasn't an interrogation. It really was because what Noble said really like touched home for me of like a hit dog will holler, blah, blah, blah. Why you mad? And I was like, okay, yeah, fair, fair, fair. So I was like, okay, where are you coming from with these talking points that you have so that we can actually have a real conversation that's based off of like a reality for you? Because it's very easy to have an opinion. It's a different thing to have a lived experience and be speaking from that experience, right? So I was more trying to figure out like, what is your lived experience? Let's not judge you. Let's not come at you, right? Let's rather understand where you're coming from. Like, if you have a wife, what is your wife like? If you are wealthy, what has that wealth meant for you? How has that wealth played out for you? And let's have a conversation about a reality rather than speculation, right? If I have to pay for that time, okay. But I was just more trying to have a more genuine conversation with you coming from where you're at.
Okay, great. I can answer that. Well, I just don't think it matters. But if we're going to talk about where my experiences, obviously I've had to go through some type of experiences. I'm not making this stuff up. I mean, you have plenty of men on this panel. You ask them, have they ever come in contact with a woman who has tried to use them in some type of way? Just like women can say they came in contact with a man that's tried to use them in some type of way, or they've been in a relationship where they've given more than a person has given them. So clearly, I probably had the experiences to be there. Whether you want to say I'm hurt or upset or whatever, that's fine. Noble, he knows my finances perfectly. So, I love when women say I'm broke. I keep more in my savings than most women make a year. So let's just we won't go any further than that. And it's just funny that if you just have an opinion, I'm not telling any man to ever be disrespectful, be dishonorable, cheat on a woman, none of the above. I'm just saying if we can have negative experiences as men and we can't articulate them to women because there's always an underlying, well, where did you get this experience from? Why are you allowing one or two or three women to skew your vision on women? And we say the same thing as men. Why are you allowing these 5 men who slept with you and didn't see value in you? Why are they being able to allow you to depict the rest of the men in society in a negative light? So it's great that you want to have probing questions and talk about things that really are relevant in my eyes, because at the end of the day, my perception is my perception. I clearly have went through those things together. So if we're going to engage in actual conversation that's going to be meaningful, let's just understand the elements. Men in society continue to be used, continue to be told they need to be a certain height, certain penis size, and all these other things. I say it all the time on this platform. No matter how negative I speak, I don't have no shortage of women who want to talk to me. I don't have no shortage of finances. And at the end of the day, I'm very respectful to the women that I know and love. If I don't know you or you disrespect me, I don't owe you anything. So the experiences are the experiences. But we're here to have dialogue on what Noble wants to speak about, not what my intentions are or what I'm saying or how you want to probe into what I have said, what I'm saying as far as if it's negative, if it's being perceived negatively, whatever. The truth hurts sometimes. And you can see in the comments that clearly the truth hurts.
I'll ask one last question. One last question and I'll be done. At this time, from what you have said, from what I've heard from you, right? You feel like the line of questioning is not in line with what Noble is saying. I disagree. In terms of the topic, I disagree. You are saying that who you are and where you are coming from in terms of this conversation does not matter. I'll be honest, with me, it's somehow swinging between like what actual debating is when we use like actual, like we all know the topic and then we go and research and we do that. It seems like you're swinging between like actual debates versus this conversation. And it sounds like you feel like that's not fair. It sounds like you feel like it's not fair for you to ask me where I'm coming from. You're entrapping me. I don't know you. And women that I don't know are dangerous, quote unquote. That's how it sounds. So for me, all I'm saying, and just to clarify, is, hey, I don't know you. You're saying a lot of things that could be inflammatory. I'm trying to understand where you come from. I'm being met with a lot of aggression in response to me trying to understand that, right? Because I'm just like, hey, who are you? Where are you coming from? What are you actually saying? And I'm being met with aggression, and I'm automatically being assumed to be a stereotype, which for me is different because I'm not stereotyping you. I'm asking you, hey, can you clarify who you are, where you're coming from, so I can hear what you're saying correctly? And you're saying anybody that I don't know that's a woman is dangerous, is what I'm hearing. So there is a huge communication disconnect between the two of us.
I don't think that's what he's saying. Hope. I mean, if I could interject there, because I don't want to speak for you. Argue. I don't want to speak for you. But I don't necessarily hear that. Argue.
Oh, my fault, man. I was listening, bro. I apologize. Yeah, what's up?
Okay, no, I said I don't want.
I forgot that's my name too, man. I changed my name, so I keep forgetting, bro.
It's cool. So I was, I was saying I don't want to speak for you, but I don't think that's what you were saying. I was gonna say what I heard you saying was that although you've had personal experiences like everyone else, you realize that these personal experiences do parallel with a lot of men's experience. So these experiences that you've had, that I identify with, that Noble identifies with, that so many men in the comments identify with, these experiences. Hold on, wait. These experiences, um, the way they parallel is not a coincidence. These experiences, the way they have affected all of us and become not necessarily a narrative, but a lot of truth. It's not. It's. I mean, come on. If 100 people look in the sky and see the moon, come on. Like if we all see the same thing, come on.
It's just oh, my bad. I meant to cut you off.
Really quick.
Go ahead, bro.
And then I'll have Hope speak, and then Queen, Dazzling D, and Ice Cream and Cake. Y'all get opportunity to speak as well. What this man is saying, and this is true, like whether y'all like it or not. When a woman is talking about her experience in dating and relationships, a lot of times, if women haven't even experienced like what the specific woman is saying that she went through, they're able to like empathize with her. They're able to like understand, and they don't tell her. A lot of women at large scale don't tell her like, well, that's probably just your personal experience. That 1, 2, 3 men that you dealt with, that they did you like that, but you shouldn't have that mindset pertaining to like all men or majority of men. But when men talk about what they go through and what they've experienced, y'all are quick to say like, you're hurt, who hurt you, and
Or
you need
call
to
you
go
aggressive. Like
resolve
I get
whatever issues. 1 second, hashtag. You
my
need to
bad.
go resolve whatever issues you have with the woman that hurt you. Like, why don't y'all start doing that? Why don't y'all start doing that like to women when they're telling y'all about what they go through? And again, y'all be the main ones hollering when these conversations are being had. Like if what he's saying doesn't apply to you, let it go in one ear and out the other. But when you acting so emotional, being a keyboard warrior in the comments, like you just kind of prove his point. But that's all I have to say. I digress. Go ahead,
Well,
Mr. Argue with your man.
Let my man hashtag go. Oh,
okay,
okay.
all right. So the part that got me, the part that sent all kinds of red flags up for me, the part that sounded extremely dismissive was the part where she automatically put the label of aggressive or something to that effect on to argue, right? And that was like amazing to me because that lets me know, or that said to me that this is another form of abuse that women implicitly don't understand that they do to men, right? And so here it is. Women literally walk around with an emotional expression Uzi. They get to spray it on everyone as irresponsibly as they would like until someone like us comes up with armor on and says, "Hey, don't hit everybody. Like stop spraying your emotions irresponsibly on everybody." And then when we express ourselves clearly, effectively, concisely, with a bit of passion, passion is always an assertion in a personal experience or a personal opinion. Then all of a sudden, automatic with the 10 with the 10 I would say on average a man gets probably about 10 attempts at expressing himself per year to every woman like efficiently before he's called argumentative, controlling, insecure, hurt, or whatever. Like what? Like that's so crazy that, like, to me, that's an implicit way for women to dismiss and abuse men.
May I say something, please?
Yeah, go ahead, Hope, and then I'm gonna let Argue with your man respond to you, and then I do need to let Queen, Dazzling D, and Ice Cream and Cake speak.
So I think I have to clarify. I am not saying argument with your man or argue with your man is aggressive as a human. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that the way that his argument came off to me was aggressive based off of what I was saying, right? Because I was saying to him, hey, who are you? What are you? Like, where do you come from? Why do you hold these opinions? I want to understand where you're coming from so we can have a intellectually genuine conversation because I can understand you, right? So can you explain that to me? And he was like, no, women that do that are not, they're not anything, blah, blah. And he went on. And I was like, that seems a little bit aggressive to me personally. That doesn't make him an aggressive person. It just means that's how I perceived it according to my intention, which was, hey, I want to understand where you are coming from. I want to understand, like, what is your lived experience that gives you these perceptions so we can have a real conversation where you're not being alienated, where you're not being pushed into a corner where you have to be a certain character. And when he responded the way he did, it came off as
Did she just break up?
I don't know. Somehow her feed got bad.
We can't hear you.
Can you hear
Look
me?
how, look
Yeah,
how
I can hear
God
you now.
works.
Oh,
Look
okay.
how God works.
Yeah. So it put me in a position where it was like, okay, I'm here trying to speak to you and understand where you're coming from. I'm not even attacking your argument. I'm more just trying to be like, why is your argument what it is? And you're saying, women like you aren't trustworthy, women like you, da da da. And I'm like, bro, come on. Like, let's be intellectually
The,
generous with one another. Let's communicate in a
the
real
truth
way.
is that
I'm not trying to um, be rude to you. I'm not trying to diagnose you. I'm not trying to do any of that. And when you attack in the way that you did, it came off as aggressive to me in that moment. Does that make you aggressive? No. Two things can be true at the same time.
Can I say one thing real quick? The truth is that you did not listen. You just heard him. And that's what happens to men every day. And let me just create the distinction, okay? The distinction between hearing and listening is that emotions are responsible for hearing. That's human emotions acknowledging and responding or reacting. But listening literally or conceptually means to to understand the the information that's being passed, to to list the task so you can put it to an end. You know, in most cases, men are not listened to when it comes to women. We're just heard. And if no one's actually hearing the words that are coming out of his mouth or my mouth or Noble's mouth, then all it is dismissiveness over and over and over again.
Uh, Mr.
Um,
Argue with your man, is there anything that you wanted to say in response to Hope? I do want to play the initial original topic again, and then I want to hear Hope's opinion on it, and then we are gonna have the other two ladies speak. Y'all can speak on the topic, or if you want to address Mr. Argue with your man, you can do that as well. Go ahead, Mr. Argue with your man.
um, so and I want you men, most importantly black men, just to listen. Understand that it doesn't matter our tone. Doesn't matter what we say. If a woman doesn't get the answer she wants, it's automatically threatening. It's automatically, something that they want to probe into. As soon as we say something they don't like, right? It's like, oh, I need to understand fully why he has this type of mentality and why is he saying this. You got people in the comments talking about he homeless. They don't. I was in a 3-bedroom house that I bought. It's mine. It's funny, but anyway, I'm just gonna say this, fellas. Notice how anytime you articulate yourself to women and it doesn't align with what they want to hear or how they perceive a man to be, you're automatically hurt. You're broke. You're homeless. If you don't like women, just say that. It's always an
All of
attack,
that,
right?
man.
And it's like they're
Every
never
time. Every
safe.
time.
Listen, they're never safe when you speak your truth and talk in general about your experiences, right? And I'm not just speaking for me. I have other men that I advocate for as well. So I tie their stories in too. So my thing is when you hear these women saying they want to better understand you as a man when you say something negative, these are the same women who will see other women tearing black men down in society every day. They don't ask them to elaborate. They don't ask them to talk about their experiences. They automatically understand. Isn't that funny? And it's very telling about these women because they only genuinely want to know what you thinking and what your thoughts are so they can poke holes in it and create their own narratives about you as a man. But in reality, that's why I tell men, you don't sit here and have to answer any questions or deal with any women that you don't want to deal with. Be a better man, put yourself in better positions, and those women that you want will gravitate to you. I don't have a problem with women. I speak the way I speak because I don't have a problem with women and I don't disrespect women at all. Like I don't have nothing going on, but I'm going to be candid about what I'm saying because I don't care. I don't have a filter because at the end of the day, I pay the bills in this home. I'm the one who gets child support that doesn't get used in my home. I'm the one that's actually genuinely protecting the black women in my life. So I don't care what other women outside of that have to say. So when you're asking me to elaborate and speak on things that don't necessarily mean anything outside of what I'm saying, we're in a different world right now. These things that I'm saying other men are going through. So because I might not necessarily went through them, doesn't mean other men in the comments haven't went through them. So we don't need to understand if we're going to be disingenuous about it. Like I said, women will allow women to come here and create false narratives about men with no pushback. But as soon as you as a man speak and articulate yourself in a way that they don't like, now all of a sudden you're aggressive. They don't feel safe. You don't know what you're talking about. And I just want you men to take notice to that because it's really funny.
I'm gonna play the audio one more time, and then we're gonna hear what Hope has says, and then we're gonna let the other two ladies speak.